Good afternoon to everyone. Welcome back to the next session of today's FDP program on enhancing faculty expertise in pharmaceutical sciences and clinical education. I request our principal, Dr. M. Sudhakar sir, to speak few words about this session.
సైడ్ పెట్టాలి పెట్టాయా ఆయన వచ్చాడు సార్
Sir, I request you to please speak few words about this session, sir. Sir, can you speak few words about this session?
My audibility
It
is
is
not
not
there.
audible.
Check it. Sridevi, audibility is not there. Please check it. Audibility is not. Audibility. Madam, audibility is not. Good afternoon to all. My dear participants. So we have come to the end of the 5 days EFTP session. I hope you're all enjoying the sessions on all this last 5 days. And today is the last session. I think we try to provide maximum information. We have taken these speakers from different areas. And basic concept is, of course, teaching skills, expertise. And we added some more points also like pharmacovigilance, clinical research, and cancer chemotherapy. All those things we are stressed upon. HPLC, liquid chromatography, everything. We are taking speakers from different colleges, different industries, and India and Malaysia also. Finally, we come to some last session. It's by Dr. Sirisha on the herbal drug technology. I hope all these sessions are very much useful to you. So my sincere request to all the pharma fraternity, let us update ourselves. Where actually every day science is updating, so we have to update ourselves from time to time. Then only we can get success in our teaching life. Okay. Now I request our Sridevi, our faculty, to continue the process.
Thank you, sir. With great honor, I would like to introduce our speaker for the session, Dr. SNVL Sirisha. Dr. SNVL Sirisha ma'am, currently working as an associate professor in Department of Pharmacognosy and Phytochemistry in Malla Reddy College of Pharmacy. She completed her PhD in JNTUH and has around 16 years of teaching experience. With her solid academic background, Sirisha ma'am has consistently demonstrated her passion for research and teaching, making her an invaluable asset to both her department and scientific community at large. Throughout her Sirisha Mum has authored 12 research publications in national and international journals with 2 patents and also participated in several conferences too. She guided 3 MPharm students and 30 BPharm projects. I welcome you, ma'am, for this session to share your insights.
Good afternoon, Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for giving me opportunity to share my views regarding challenges in herbal drug industry as a part of this DP program. And also, I'm very much thankful to Sridevi Madam to introduce me to this. Very good afternoon to each and everyone. To come to the end of this faculty development program, the last session. So, in the last session, there is a challenges in herbal drug industry. So nowadays, many of us are interested in taking only herbal drugs, Ayurvedic medicines, or anything home remedies to treat various diseases, ailments, as a part of many side effects with the synthetic chemicals or anything. In this 21st century, the pharmaceutical sciences have made tremendous progress throughout the world to treat various ailments in the last COVID era or anything. The pharma industry is only in the front for here to treat various in the front to treat various ailments, diseases, everything, and also in here upcoming sector, because in this very fast life and due to many adulterants in the food, pollution in the environment, everything, it leads to various diseases, ailments, and all. Along with this, there is some disadvantages, or it leads to long lasting side effects of synthetic chemicals. It leads to much more diseases, field, or anything. So, for this, conventional herbal medicines has picked up a gigantic sum of integrants around the world due to its less side effects and everything. So we see about this how the crude drugs or natural products are developed into various formulations and what are the various challenges to come about into the pharmaceutical industry sector, and how much now this herbal industry is only putting 40% effort in only getting patents or anything. What are the various challenges why we are not coming across with the synthetic pharmaceutical industry? So this is the first challenges in herbal drug industry. So this is an introduction regarding this. The herbal in medicine, also known as phytotherapy, harnesses the healing properties of plants and plant extracts for medicinal properties. The pharmaceutical or natural products include various secondary metabolites which are synthesized from primary metabolites of the plants by chemical transformation of molecules through a number of enzymatic reactions. These natural products or secondary product metabolites are optimized structurally with a due course of time to regulate the endogenous physiological defense system. This endogenous internally physiological system defense system can be improved with the help of our natural products, and also exogenous interaction with harmful organisms, resulting greater significance in treating cancer and other infectious diseases. So the pollution, whatever it may be, microorganisms, exogenous interaction, they enter into our body and causes various diseases like cancer and other infectious diseases. So with the help of this physiological defense system, we can alleviate all these diseases can be with the help of natural products. The use of these natural products their extracts and extracted compounds in trading purposes are increasing at industrial level in current time. So these products are used as a starting materials or in the combination of products with the synthetic chemicals are increasing in day by day. But even though increasing in day by day, what are the various challenges we can reduce and completely replaced all the synthetic chemicals with this or this is the main target of our session. This increased trend of trading has assisted in economical growth and poverty management in several developing countries. So the economic growth also increases not only in this, in the startup uh, countries like small like Ethiopia, all these state countries also can be can be made into developed or developing countries. These nutraceuticals is the fastest growing herbal components due to increase in day-to-day life concern among global population. The population is every day we are seeing about increase in the wellness care, diet, human diet, everything includes these nutraceuticals without knowingly or unknowingly having some effects in our body. So day-to-day life has concern increases. This significant impact on countries not only in the economic growth but also increases in the foreign exchange earnings through export of raw materials and industrial herbal products, formation, etc. There is a tremendous demand in developed foreign market. Example: opium, poppy, tropane alkaloids, sapogenin bearing yams, senna, cinchona, etc. All these are the regular herbs which are using daily, which are can be reduced over this. So these can be used in the various formulations. Why only the natural products? As the natural products are notably different in natural medicine is organic and only lightly processed, whereas synthetic chemicals or even active ingredient was derived from the natural source. But the synthetic medicine is maybe organic or inorganic. The inorganic compounds nowadays we are seeing about in the preparation of masalas or anything, it leads to major side effects. The inorganic compound should be taken in a very low amounts, but without knowing the knowledge in the preparation of dietary substances or anything, they are using in the excess amount and leads to various side effects, whereas the herbal medicines contains only organic principles which are helpful in this. So to try to undergo a major change with respect to domestic and global requirements, so the herbal drug industry should be increased more so that the compounds or formulations can be prepared more and helpful. So these are the various steps required to be taken to develop formulations of herbal medicine based on the age-old traditional knowledge. The herbal medicine is as old as human civilization. The nature has provided a complete storehouse of remedies to cure all ailments of mankind. But we have in many countries have rich heritage of herbal drugs, and we only have to the knowledge to procure all these things, and they convert it into our um, required formulations and all. So to various traditional systems like Ayush, Ayurvedic, Yoga, Unani, Siddha, and homeopathy systems are various traditional Indian systems of medicine, and also various other traditional medicines come in other countries like China, Japan, and all. All those are using their own procedures for the development of herbal formulations. So, what are those steps? Are development of herbal formulations with the help of traditional knowledge to clinical verification. So first one is cultivation of herbs to gain in bioprospecting, genetic variability, effective and agrobiotechnology. So the generally the herbal drugs are available in the nature, but with as it is not sufficient, the cultivation is also required. Even though the rich cultivation is not sufficient to supply for the all the population which are present. So the cultivation of herbs is very much important. The cultivation may be general methods like propagation or in a seed propagation or vegetative propagation, etc. But nowadays, due to increase in the agrobiotechnology, the genetic variability like hybridization, polyploidy, tissue culture methods, all those methods are used for the cultivation of the herbs. The main purpose is to increase the yield of secondary metabolites. So the yield of secondary metabolites can be increased so that we can make changes with the help of biosynthetic pathways. The biosynthetic pathways are helpful in increase the yield, and they're also helpful in the chemistry labs so that we can increase the yield of secondary metabolites. So the various climatic conditions varying, India possesses all types of climatic conditions. Hence, it provides various gene species of plants for their commercial cultivation. So, in India, we can procure many herbs and all due to the various climatic conditions in Himalayas, South India, Central India, Assam, Kerala. There are different varieties of climatic zones. So, we can cultivate different types of herbs depending upon its climatic conditions and all. We can increase the different amounts of secondary metabolites. The cultivation helps to treat diseases and all, and also increases the formulation of herbal formulations, which helps in the trade, nation, export, import, etc. So after cultivation, we have to separate these secondary metabolites with the help of isolation techniques and characterization of these secondary metabolites with the help of spectroscopy and chromatography techniques. After completion of this characterization of secondary metabolites, we can also extract and fingerprinting of active ingredients. After testing with these secondary metabolites are there, we can extract by using, you can separate the various active ingredients in a single plant. For example, senna, the sennosides are the main chemical ingredient which are used in the treatment of constipation, etc. But along with sennosides, it contains many other secondary metabolites. We have to separate into individual components with the help of isolation and fingerprinting techniques. Next, after this, complete isolation of individual components in a plant, we have to complete exercise of drug standardization. We have to know about its safety, efficacy, and how much dose is required for the preparation. If there are any herbal drug interactions, or is it safe or not, we have to take for its standardization. Next, after standardization of these secondary metabolites, we have to make into various formulations, which require good manufacturing practices application during product development. These secondary metabolites can be differentiated into various formulations like suspensions, tablets, injections, various transdermal drug delivery system, different formulations we can prepare. Nowadays, nano particles, everything are prepared in this by using these secondary metabolites and all. The stability studies on single and compound drugs are also studied. And also, in this, after cultivation, if there are any residues of pesticides, heavy metals, microbial contamination in the secondary metabolites, also tested for its toxicity and efficacy evaluation with the help of clinical trials, heavy and all this. The clinical validation for drug efficacy and safety are important to get the herbal formulation into the market. These are the various steps required to be taken. Next. Now, after this, just we have to know first what is the current scenario of herbal drug industry. The herbal medicine trend in most of the European and non-European countries became popular with WHO guidelines traditional medicine strategy in 2002 to 5. With the development of their own documentation, formation, and other safety concerns. So after 2002 to 5, there is increase in the development of herbal drug industry. But the use of this generally in India, China, and like this, some countries only using these herbal medicines and all. But due to its less side effects and the global population increasing more interest on the herbal medicines, nowadays European and other countries are also putting interest. The prior herbal market for India raw material and products are USA, Canada, Australia, Singapore, Japan, while Brazil, Argentina, Indonesia are newly growing market with tremendous possibility. According to WHO financial report, global herbal market in 2050 will reach up to 5 trillion Indian rupees. But in the Indian herbal medicine market is only 50 billion rupees with 14% annual growth. These are the top companies in herbal medicine market in 2024. In these around the global world, Dabur and Natures of War are also the Indian companies which are in the herbal medicine. The Genius Herbs, all these are the Biobotanic are the Indian companies which are still putting interest. But the pharmaceutical industry has shown less attention for developing herbal medicines due to its complex processes of drug development, quality control, security, and all. So we see this, what are those various complex challenges, how we can come across, and in this new 2020 and all, how we can develop into the herbal drug industry. Let us see small differ in the herbal drug industry and the pharmaceutical industry. The herbal and pharmaceutical industries differ in their products, production processes, and types of effects on that have on the body. For example, the herbal products, mainly the herbal products are meant for beauty or personal care, teas and all. But these herbal products can also be prepared into various medicines and essential products which are treating various diseases. That is very less known to the people. Simply they are telling, they are knowing about only Ayurvedic extraction, but Ayurveda leads to a very time taking process and all. But not nowadays. These from the Ayurvedic, we are isolating the individual components and making into formulations, which are also very helpful. So it is had to be known to the all the people and all. And this, but in the pharmaceutical industry produces generic drugs, over the counter medicines, bulk drugs, vaccines, and more. What is this generic drugs, bulk drugs, vaccines, and all? These generic drugs is a equal substitute for its brand name and counterpart. Is created to be the same as already marketed brand name drug. So now in India or other countries, if for example, if any drug is came into the market, they are preparing in that formulations in various different formulations with the same dosage, with the same formulation, anything, but little bit change in its flavoring agents or anything. So we have to make change with the herbal ingredients which are present in the products and changes. We have to reduce these generic drugs. Generic drugs only helpful to reduce the cost, but we are not able to reduce its side effects or anything. So we have to change the generic formulations should be prepared with the herbal drugs. That is the main criteria we required. And the production. In the production, the herbal drug industry involves mixing, filling, and packaging herbal supplements. Whereas in the pharmaceutical industry involves milling, drying, compression, coating, all this. So the herbal products which are prepared into the decoctions, extracts, there was only packing and giving into the market. But these herbal, it can be made into tablets, it can be made into capsules, everything. So the herbal industry, in the pharmaceutical industry, we required a separate department with the herbal ingredients are also included, and we can prepare into various formulations that we have to reduce it. Next, effects. The pharmaceutical drugs are designed to have a specific reaction, while herbal medication have a broad range of effects on the body. Just now I explained about this. Senna contain, along with the senosate, some other alkaloids are also present in the senna. But the main know about the senna is having constipation property. But it can show along with the constipation GI tract property, but it can also show effects on cardiovascular system and CNS system and all. This is the main drawback of these herbal products, which are having broad range of effects on the body. The herbal medicines are, in effect, are much more effect than pharmaceuticals. So we see about this in the picture. We can understand about this. The India-wise category export share in 2022 to 3. The market, when you compare about the market of pharmaceutical industry and herbal industry. So you can see about this, pharmaceutical industry has worldwide revenue of 1.48 trillion in 2022. But when compared to the global of herbal medicine, it is only $70 billions in 2022. There is a 70% variation in this. So if you see about this, and the blue color represents drug formulations and biologicals, which are 73%, whereas orange represents bulk drugs and drug formulation. And this 2.47 to 4% shows vaccines. But Ayush and herbal products is only 2.47%. Very, very less amount is preparing and showing market size. We have to increase its 2.7 to 72% and reduce the chemicals to this. How to this? The quality control law affected contaminants, adulterants, incorrect formulations. All these are the main drawbacks. So we have to quality control measures can help to ensure the consistency and potency of herbal products. So we see about in this These are the various challenges in herbal drug industry. But that's why, due to these many number of challenges are there, many pharmaceutical industries has shown less attention for developing herbal medicines. But in this new era, 21st century and all came and required new life-saving pharmaceuticals have been discovered with the fight. So how can we discover, how can we came into this to reduce all these challenges is the main important. First thing is raw material quality, regulatory guidelines, herbal drug interactions, scientific evidence, clinical trials, market, research and development, biopiracy, and pharmacovigilance. All these are the various factors which are facing many changes. We see one by one and how can we can reduce these processes. The issues with standardization of raw materials. So for being a formulation, we require raw materials. But these raw materials are the main thing for the authentication, identification of raw materials, standardization of raw materials, formulation of herbal products, questionable aspects of concern towards Indian herbal industrial manufacturer. So these are the various standardization parameters required for the raw materials. Right? Includes with the organoleptic evaluation. Organoleptic evaluation, or by using our sense organs, we can identify this. Nowadays in the market also, we can find out this whenever we will go, for example, ginger, garlic, what we are using daily in our house. We know about it with the flavor of the ginger, with the flavor of the garlic, or in the paste, we can find out which is good quality or not. We can came across this known as we are knowing from the childhood. But what about the other drugs which are not known by our childhood and all? How can we can necrosis? So these are the various marker compounds or various parameters which are used to standardize the Ayurvedic drugs. With the help of microscope, we can find out the uh, cells and tissue arrangement in the plants, whether they are belongs to the same species or other species. We can maybe find out with the same genus of the plant, but they may change mixes with the other species and all. How to identify these species and all with the help of microscope. And the volatile matter, just now I explained ginger and all. Due to the presence of its important volatile oil or essential oil, the flavor gives us the importance. It is having good amount of chemical constants having showing its very good pharmacological action or anything. But if you keep it excited, it can be evaporated or separated this. The inorganic molecules present in the sample can be found out with this ash value. The inorganic molecules should be present in very very small amounts. If sex is present, it leads to toxicity. And the extractive value, how much how much amount of secondary metabolites are present, how can we extract. We all know about in the houses we can extract with the tea, aqueous extracts. Aqueous extracts will take more extract but gives the less amount of chemical constants, whereas the other extracts are be used to increase the extractive value. And the heavy metal contaminants, microbial contaminants can also be tested. If there is presence of any microbials, microtoxins, it leads to several dreadful diseases or it leads to death also. Initially, it starts with nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, fever, leads to chills and loss of consciousness. So we have to be very careful about these microtoxins, microbial contamination in these crude drugs. So next, taxonomic authentication. So we have to know these crude drugs can be available in various areas. If they're in the different, depending upon the various climatic zones, there are also changes in its chemical constants and all. So the identification of the taxonomic is very, very important in the collection of the raw materials. If the raw materials collected in various species and completed mix up together in the industry, again it leads to the variation in the products and all. So marker compound, which is the main important chemical constant, we have to identify with the help of chromatography profile and spectroscopic analysis. These are the various issues with the standardization of raw materials. And also the Department of Ayush informed regarding the use of about 600 medicinal plants, 50 animal derived products in ethno-medicinal Ayurvedic formulations. So ethnological means from according to the traditional knowledge, they are preparing Ayurvedic medicines they are preparing. But about 50% of India is facing problems regarding authentication and collection of raw materials. So there is a authentication selection. We have, if we know about the knowledge of the subject of this, then only we can identify it properly. Otherwise, we cannot identify because they looks similar all the species. So 50% only we are able to authentication easily, but remaining 50% we are not able to authentication. So we are losing all these things into the nature only. The 36% of the companies consider qualitative effect of raw material adulteration as very common in herbal preparation. So they are telling about this is it is adulteration is very common because due to the lack of knowledge about this macroscopical identification or how they looks like their cells and tissues. If we know about it, we can make it identification easily. It is also suggested adulteration, substitution, heavy metal, all these are the main hindrance in the standard quality maintenance of herbal drugs since collection to the manufacturing. As markers are very relevant mode of identification, only about companies conducts chemical marker based identification and reputed laboratories. So only few of the companies build it and they are success in the market. So the startup companies are all there. We have to give them suggestions how to find out all these things with the thing. So the skilled labor or the professionals only can helpful in the identification of these raw materials and all. Next, the regulatory perspectives of herbal medicinal products. So to collect all these materials, raw materials after authentication, everything completed, we have to make it into formulations. To follow the very good manufacturing processes and anything, we require some guidelines, regulatory aspects. So to maintain how the premises are maintained, how hygienic and all good manufacturing, what is the procedures used, processing used, and how we can be quality control methods, whether they are using professional skills and all, we require regulatory aspects. So what are the regulatory aspects of herbal medicinal products? These regulatory aspects are vary with different countries. But WHO organization published guidelines to help national regulatory authorities. Each and every country has different authorities, manufacturers, and scientific organizations evaluate the quality, safety, and efficacy of herbal medicines. The Department of Ayurveda, Unani, Siddha, Homeopathy regulates herbal medicines in India, along with Central Drug Standard Control Organization. And the Drugs and Cosmetics Act 1940 and 45 gives us what are the various drugs, can be spurious drugs, abandoned, banded drugs, everything, or how can we avoid all these things, what are the various steps involved, offenses, everything can be given in the Drugs and Cosmetics Act. And a manufacturer should get the license is required to market or manufacture herbal drugs. So Schedule T is a part of Drugs and Cosmetics Act that outlines good manufacturing practices for Ayurvedic, Siddha and Unani system. Even though in 1940 it gives is it, but there is a changes has happened in the 2004 to 5. From there, the increases in the herbal raw materials are used in the companies and all. And a summit was held to discuss global regulatory structure of herbal medicine and dietary supplements and the challenges, opportunities of using new tools and strategies for the development of this. These are the various requirements in the good manufacturing processes. First, the location, premises should be hygienic and all, and it should be consists of finished goods storage, worker hygienic documentation. There should be a sewage which can be protect the unused material should be destroyed, processed, everything, sewage, drains, public laboratories, everything should be required for the president. Next, machinery. What are the machines used for the preparation and all should be quality assurance, all should be prior testing, everything should be used and it should not cause any hindrances, drug interactions with this. And the process should be also quality assurance. What is the procedure we are using and all. Mainly with this, main drawback with the herbal drugs in preparation of formulations is with the processing only. Even though the procedures are followed in the prescribed process and all, but the output is changes due to the presence of many number of chemical constituents involved. We have marker compound is present with the help of marker compound we can prepare the crystals, but due to the presence of some primary metabolites, gums, mucilages, everything, it undergo hindrance and causes changes in the processing. it leads to this. So each and every batches they will require the quality assurance and all. This is the main problem with the processing of formulations in the herbal drugs. Sanitization required, maintenance required, and personal also should be, everyone should be trained, and there should be in the skilled person should be. And to maintain all these things, we require the administrative issues. Various administrations are present to check whether the GMP process or anything quality assurance are maintained in the industries and all. These administrative these administrative people or administrative administrations are also create some significant difficulties in defining the idea of national regulation of herbal materials, while also confounding patients and customers. For preparing this, even though the formulation has having very good and this, but giving to the patients, each and individual has different acceptance of this and leads to the various drug interactions. So all these criteria has been considered with the administrative officers and gives us in 1994 natural products are regulated in US under the Dietary Supplement Health and Education Act. So these are mainly these herbs what we are using daily. It helps in the dietary supplement and also leads to the changes in the health of the people. So the nutrition supplement is defined as edible material that has a dietary element and is meant to augment the diet. Diet means it gives us energy, muscle formation, etc. Herbs, minerals, vitamins, and other botanicals are among the nutritional constituents of these products. So, along with the minerals, vitamins, which are required for the daily consumption for the survival of our body, the herbs are also called as dietary supplements. Not only these supplements, they also alleviate our diseases, etc. Further, toxicity studies are typically not necessary under the Dietary Supplement and Health Education Act for the herbs available in the market before 1994. That's why this is the main target of this session is we think that herbal drugs has no side effects and all, but these are also having some side effects. So before 1994 into the market, herbs are not considered as toxic studies, but these herbs are also having some toxic studies, which I'll explain with the help of two examples. I explain this. In this case, the Food Drug Administration is responsible for proving that an herbal therapeutic product, the dietary component is harmful or unfit for human consumption. So after this, they find out this Food and Drug Administration that telling about this dietary component is harmful or unfit. We have to give about nowadays, for example, chia seeds. Many of the people are consuming without knowing its problem. So, in many developing countries like India and another country, difficult is exchange of information of herbal medicines between regulatory agencies and safety or pharmacovigilance centers. So, what is this pharmacovigilance centers? There is a identification, assessing of hazards. Till now, so before the pharmacovigilance people, there is administration or testing only whether they're having any dietary supplements, nutritions or not. But it also leads to some adverse effects which are given by the pharmacovigilance systems. So the pharmaceuticals is a past instance for them to be incorporated in the pharmacovigilance. The requirement of pharmacovigilance for the interaction between drugs and herbal products is critical for identifying and assessing hazards associated with the use of herbal items, safety, efficacy, and superiority, which are not usually rigorously researched and are frequently not subject to regulatory approval. After came into this pharmacovigilance, now we came across this herbal drugs are also having side effects. So we can also test it with the help of standardization and all. And now we can improve the various products with the help of these pharmacovigilance centers and all are mandated to examine and gather information about safety and efficacy. Now with this, the herbal formulations which are prepared, they are analyzing with the side effects and giving awareness among the people. There is no question that recent increase in poisonous incidents for the use of herbal drugs. So due to increase in this, there is no, we still now we did not find about any poisoning incidents. Many parts of the world necessities need for extensive toxicity evaluation as well as pharmacovigilance on herbal medicines to encourage their appropriate application and safeguard human wellness. With the help of this pharmacovigilance sector and all, now the herbal drugs are used in the formulations of synthetic preparations and all, reduces the side effects and all. After this, what are the another more challenges the synthetic drugs and herbal interactions. There is a lot of herbal drug interactions. The herbal drug interactions may be competitive inhibition or non-competitive inhibitions. If it is a competitive inhibition, it leads to contraindications and all. But if it is not a non-competitive inhibition, it leads to increase in the synergistic effects and all. So, what is the competitive inhibition? By an herbal constituent prevents the drug molecule from binding to the active site of the enzyme. So, the prevents the drug molecule. If it is prevents, it leads to the counter interactions and all. And whereas non-competitive inhibition, herbal constituent decreases the catalytic activity of the drug metabolizing energy without interfering with the binding of it. So, catalyzing increases and also leads to the synergistic effect. So nowadays, for example, last year we prepared the tablets of diabetic diabetic tablets with the help of aloe vera extract is used. With the help of aloe vera extract, the synergistic effect of medicine can be increased. So like this, we can increase the non-competitive inhibition and increase the synergistic effects of medicines. So the herbal drug interactions are a challenge in the herbal drug industry because of the following reasons. The lack of well-designed clinical studies. So due to the lack of this just of pharmacovigilance, we discussed about it. Due to the lack of this clinical study, well-designed clinical studies, there is interactions are not known. After preparing formulations, we came across the drug interactions and leads to this. So we have to design very well clinical studies and variability in herbal products. What is the variability in herbal products? The variability is due to the uh, procurement of raw materials in various climatic conditions, various taxonomical regions. So due to this variability, the herbal products, it also leads to sometimes unknown drug interactions with the drug. We are testing with the one product, but the collection of the other product, it leads to drug interactions. So the variability in the herbal products also leads to the herbal drug interactions. Uncertainty of causative constituents. As the herbal molecules contain many number of chemical constants, it leads to the various drug interactions. If you isolate individual molecule and making into formulations, then we can reduce these herbal drug interactions. And due to lack of knowledge of pharmacokinetics, what are pharmacokinetics? Absorption, distribution, metabolism, everything. So due to lack of this absorption and metabolism, how much drug it also leads to the herbal drug interactions. If we have very good knowledge about pharmacokinetics of individual components in the herbal drugs, it also helps to reduce the this. And irrelevant research. So irrelevant research means, so nowadays if you go on thinking about, due to the variability in herbal products, one is giving that due to not knowing about the amount of constituents present and how much dose is required to treat, many research irrelevant research is obtaining in the social media nowadays. Due to the coming about this, we cannot also acceptable which is correct or not. Some are telling about this, the alcoholic extract is having the diabetic activity. Some are giving that chloroform extract is having the pharmacological action. So what extract we can give in this, the irrelevant research is also leads to the herbal drug research. And the tacky reports means they're giving the reports without having good knowledge and all. So we required the publications and all with the very good publications with the peer-reviewed journals and all. Normal publications they are giving without doing any problems. So all these are the various challenges. So we can see about this interaction between herbal products and medications. So pharmacodynamic interactions and pharmacokinetic interactions. Pharmacodynamic includes absorption, distribution, metabolism, protein binding, extent. But in this, additive, synergistic, and antagonistic activities. So these are the various challenges we are finding out in the organ system, receptor site or enzyme or drug displacement, etc. These are the various places we can find out the drug interactions. So next thing is toxicity and adverse health effects of some common herbal medicines. So till now, we thinking about this is herbal medicines have no side effects, but I gave you here two examples: Ephedra sinica and Allium sativum, garlic, which are using daily. So this Ephedra is a Chinese herbal drug, Chinese medicine, which are using commonly in the treatment of asthma and all. But this ingredient is many useful as classified as non-toxic. They have done various double-blind clinical trials are also done, demonstrated, even though this Ephedra sinica is having in very toxic effects on hepatotoxicity, neurotoxicity, transient. It supplements associated with a number of serious cardiovascular and central nervous system adverse effects. So this is the main thing: adverse toxicity and adverse health effects of some common herbal medicines. Even though in the clinical trials, randomized clinical trials, we cannot find about the toxicity of this, but after taking inside, some of the people will find out this. Similarly, garlic, which are we are using daily in the food supplement, food management and all, which is used to reduce hypertension and hypercholesterolemia. Besides, it is a very food additive, but it is known to contain illein. Illein is a main toxic substance which is present, which on crushing or chopping in the absence of heat or acid, it becomes activated to allicin. Due to this allicin, we are getting the peculiar smell and all. Also, this garlic or onion should be taken within, after cutting or the way we can be used within hours. But due to lack of this knowledge, many people are using after 24 hours or in the things, which leads to the garlic extract leads to burning sensation in the gastrointestinal tract, nausea, diaphoresis, lightheadedness have been reported. And this extract may also cause contact dermatitis, morbid spontaneous spinal epidural lipedema, solely leads to the excess consumption. So these two are the small examples I have given. So, but these herbal drugs continuously made available to the consumers without prescription is the most cases are the potential hazards. So we require general perception that herbal remedies or drugs are very safe and devoid of adverse effects. It's not only untrue but also misleading. This is only the misleading and also leads to the main challenge. It's capable of producing a wide range of undesirable adverse effects, capable of causing serious injuries, life-threatening conditions, etc. Misidentification of medicinal plants, mislabeling herbal medicinal products are responsible of some of the observed adverse events and interactions. And this is important to assess herbal medicines for possible presence of adulterants. So initially it may not having anything, but after taking inside, it can changes into the toxic effects in some of the people. So how can we find out this? We required all these things in the scientific evidence. This scientific evidence is also the main challenge. So we don't have any scientific, and simply by giving the knowledge, we are not putting into the papers or anything. Due to the lack of scientific knowledge, that leads to the biopiracy, everything. So we required everything in the scientific knowledge. Due to scientific evidence to evaluate safety, efficacy of herbal drugs, the quality of trial drug has to be tested batch to batch, uniformity of the active constants. These challenges can be reduced or overcome by applying most recent methodologies and guidelines for clinical trials. Since the quality control of herbal medicines is complicated, difficult, relevant, appropriate requirements should be established, assessment of safety and efficacy. Different challenges, regulatory guidance discussed for the clinical trial of various industries, considering it before going ahead for clinical sales. So before going to the clinical trials, everything, we have to give the traditional knowledge into the paper. We are collecting that it does not have any side effects, everything. We have to make into a scientific evidence. Then only we go into the procedure into the clinical trials. In the clinical trials is also one of the challenges. So in the four steps in the clinical trials, what are the clinical trials of herbal medicine? Fourth Amendment of Drugs Cosmetic Act 2008 classifies Ayurvedic Siddha Enhancing medicine into four categories, which suggests that extent of prescribed trials requirement for marketing approval. We have to increase the more number of trials, more number of testings we have to be increased. That's why I told even in 1940-45 Drugs and Cosmetics Act has approved, but 2008 it again changes into the um, Ayurvedic Siddha Unani medicine. According to this, Drugs and Cosmetics Act, Section A records safety and efficacy. Clinical evidence data is not required for aqueous extract based medicine. But nowadays, this is also required. Aqueous extract is also having some toxic effects. So, these in contrast, hydroalcoholic extract based drugs are having clinical safety and efficacy data, but compulsory for marketing approval. In contrast, before in 2008 and all, just now I discussed hydroalcoholic extracts are required the marketing approval, whereas aqueous extract does not require this. No, it has to be changed this. medication-based aqueous sector should also be studied clinically for new indications. The compliance towards the good manufacturing is also one of the major drawbacks in the Indian herbal drug manufacturer. A countable amount of manufacturer exporter follows improper drug and cosmetic cash based guidelines, which ultimately results in the quality product deterioration. So the follows improper. See, with the synthetic process, if they follows improper, also no problem. But these herbal drugs, if you are not maintain proper conditions, it attracts the moisture and leads to the deterioration and leads to the microbial contamination, microtoxins, everything we can observe leads to the various quality control issues. So these clinical trials should be maintained very well for these herbal drugs. The survey suggested development of a universally accepted dossier submission and process for faster and smoother approval. To get the patent, IPR, anything we require to apply for the ND application, IND application, all these things. So before that, we required the all these things. After into these clinical trials, there are again challenges in the market. So what are the market challenges? Marker-based analysis is a costly process that requires sophisticated and expensive instruments. Generally, we thought that it is a herbal medicines required less cost and all, but due to the raw materials testing, all these things, again it is a cost effective process. So in India, most manufacturing things are small and medium enterprises and do not have elaborate research facilities in their units. The survey revealed less than 10% of the firms have in-house research and development facilities. This is the main marketing challenge. Into that, we are not having that much putting financial support and all for the testing all these things, but we required all these things. Most manufacturers follow traditional physical methods for standardizing raw materials, but we required marker-based studies are also further limited and leads to the this. If the marker-based studies are studied, we can reduce the marketing challenges, we can reduce the various side effects, etc. Scarcity of herbal practitioners, particularly for traditional system of medicine, the companies believe that adequate support for promotion of Indian drug foreign countries through exhibitions and trade fairs would definitely help in export potential. So we require the various conferences, everything to know about this so that we can increase the utilization of herbal products and increase the market challenge. And research and development, how can we increase the research and all this? So further promotion of Ayush education in foreign countries is needed to boost the herbal medicine sector. To enable greater recognition for traditional Indian systems of medicine, it is necessary to support, nourish, strengthen the professional in other countries. Not only in other countries, we also incurred more amount of this pharmacognosy seeds, Ayurvedic medicines, important more pharmacies in the PhDs and all. We required more amount of research in the herbal drugs, herbal formulations, etc. An Indo-US Center for Research on Indian Systems of Medicine has been set up in the National Center for Natural Products Research, University of Mississippi. The primary mission of this CRISP is to facilitate scientific validation and dissemination of information the Ayurvedic Siddha medicines through collaborative research. We require so much of collaborations required to increase the use of these herbal crude drugs or increase in the preparation of various formulations, etc. It is expected that establishment of this center will help improve scientific acceptance of Indian systems of medicine. So biopiracy. So after completion all these things, what is the biopiracy? We are abolish corporate hijacking of indigenous medicinal entities. Due to the lack of research on these crude drugs or natural products, the various countries are doing research and they are applying for patents and increases this. We have to reduce about this with the help of taxonomical with the help of this taxonomic prevention of genetic barcodings. We're giving the barcodings to the taxonomy where it relates. These are the various methods which are used in giving this next generation sequencing, simple sequence repeats and intersimple sequence repeats, random applied polymorphic DNA, amplified fragment length polymorphism. All these are the various methods used. What are the advantages is sequence information probe generation is required, readily used for taxonomic studies, producing of DNA patterns that allow comparison of many loci simultaneously, low cost. No prior sequence information or probe generation is needed. So these are the various things which can be used to reduce this DNA barcoding. Developing countries suffer to establish proper plant barcoding. So we have to require this biopiracy barcoding and all is with the help of in the bioprospecting is a key method to overcome this bioprospecting and the Nagoya protocol. This protocol gives us information to access the generic resources and the fair equitable sharing of benefits. The fair and equitable sharing benefits from their utilization to the Convention on Biological Diversity. So these two biological diversity is more. We are not aiming to doing any research, but the other countries, if you are doing any research, with they have to show the traditional knowledge whether they are present or not. So the Nagoya Protocol came into exist in the 12th October 2014 for the transparent legal framework. For the, in the generic resources protect and utilization of this, it covers the traditional knowledge. The for years, private-public partnership was the used only option to build agreements among organizations. But now it leads to the public-private people partnership 4P. The public-private partnerships and particularly addressing problems of exclusion on lack of transparency is the ideal platform for crushing biopiracy with technological advancements. These are the various challenges to have to be overcome to increase the statistics of herbal drug industry. So these are the small statistics what we can see in the herbal drug industry. The global herbal medicine market is expected to grow to $16.4 billion in 2023 to 437 billion by 2032. So there is increase from 14% to the 44%. The European Union dominates the herbal medicine market with 44.82% share in 2023. India's share of the global market is less than 1%. We have to increase about this market. The herbal industry has turnover of more than 80 billions. We have to increase about into the trillions and all. The herbal exports are raw materials and 30% are finished products. We have to increase about the finished products into more amount. Herbal plants, nearly 960 plant species are using in the preparation of this. 80% of rural population in India uses medicinal herbs and indigenous systems of medicine. These are the various things. Ayurvedic drug manufacturing industry's turnover is estimated to be 3,500 crores and the market size of industry is 18.1 billion in 2020. These are the various factors. These are the major suggested challenges for Indian herbal drug industry. The promotion of Ayush education with emphasis on technical education in Ayush. Popularization and promotion of Indian system of medicine in foreign countries. Elaborate guidelines on quality control of herbal medicines. Development of monographs, reference standards for marker-based analysis for all the plants used in medical preparations. Supply of standardized and certified raw materials, extracts, sustainable cultivation of medicinal plants by identifying suitable zones. Awareness regarding good agricultural practices, good agricultural and collection practices, and goods supplement practices are among growers and manufacturers. Implementation and regulation of the Drug and Cosmetics Act, development of unified protocols, defined timelines, and specified guidelines defining the meetings with regulators. The capacity building and knowledge sharing within small to medium enterprises, financial assistance. These are the, if we make changes in it, we can increase our global market with the herbal drugs. We have to know awareness about the government schemes and supports. Due to lack of education awareness, India lacks quality control, good agricultural collection practices. Promoting innovations in individual startups, MSMEs, Startup India, Indian Seed Launch Scheme are the few government schemes which are giving support and increase about the startup companies and increase about this medium-sized firms, many of these business entrepreneurs and ignore government activities and support. The conclusion with this is a herbal medicine makes a tiny contribution to modern healthcare, which now has a market worth billions of dollars. The herbal medical formulation stability is a crucial concern because it impacts the quality and efficacy of the drug. The global acceptance and use of herbal medicines related products continue to assume exponential increase. The herbal pharmaceuticals should follow international rules, good agricultural collection practices, criteria, chance, flourish, and establish themselves in the world market. Herbal manufacturing is a continuous process that follows WHO recommendation to implement all these practices to ensure standard and quality of herbal medicines. Herbal companies, manufacturers, entrepreneurs should be aware of the government business and market growth strategies to support high quality, safe medications, which are updated on a regular basis. Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your insightful and enriched session regarding the current scenario of the herbal drug industries. Thank you so much. Now I request our principal sir to speak few words regarding this issue.
Good afternoon, all participants, teaching participants of all the states of India, of course. Thank you very much. The session, I think it was very much fruitful. Many people all over India are acted as resource persons. There were 10 sessions we had it totally. First day we started with Dr. Savitri Madam from Visakhapatnam and Dr. Rajasekhar from Hyderabad, of course, and Dr. Kannappan from Malla University, Dr. Sham from MRM College of Pharmacy, Dr. Nagarajan from Jesus College of Pharmacy, Ooty, Dr. Ashok from Sandeep University, and Dr. Viswanath, Director of Novartis, and Dr. Vasudeva from Malaysia, IM University, and Dr. Prakash from our college, Malla College of Pharmacy, Dr. Sirisha also from our college. Totally about 10 speakers have delivered the topics for the FDP. So I hope the session is useful with multiple topics were covered. Not only teaching expertise, we are covered with the many topics also. So ultimately, I have to get the maximum information from the resource persons. Hope this session is useful for all of you. Thank you very much. The organizers, mainly Dr. Tajuddin, is very much helpful to conduct this session, the 5-day session, and Dr. Sridhar, Dr. Divya, and Sridevi, and Sandhya, like this, many people organized this FDP. It was very much fruitful, I think. Thank you all. Thank you for your active participation in these sessions. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. As we conclude this online faculty development program on enhancing faculty expertise in pharmaceutical sciences and clinical education, I want to begin by expressing my sincere gratitude to our institution, Malla Reddy College of Pharmacy, and our respected principal, Dr. M. Sudhakar sir, whose vision and support made this FDP possible. Without your encouragement, none of this would have been possible, sir. Thank you so much. I would like to thank our organizing team, Dr. S. Sridhar, sir, Dr. Divya Yada, Mr. Tajuddin Sheikh, and Sandhya ma'am for engaging the insightful sessions. Your expertise and dedication have been instrumental in making this FDP a grand success. I also thank our participants who have actively engaged in all the sessions. Thank you so much. The certificates for all the participants will be delivered by tomorrow. Thank you. Have a great day.